Hello all, welcome back to software testing course. So in the last class we had studied till checklist. So today we will be studying formal code reviews. So previously we had seen formal reviews in which we had seen reviews of different work products, right? So in this one formal code reviews we will be only talking about the code. Okay? So, among all the different work products, the source code is the important work product. So, it has to go for a formal code review. The process of holding a formal code review meeting, it is same as discussed in the last class. Okay. So, here the project manager he identifies the objectives and the participants. So, the participant include the team. Okay, review team. It includes the programmers, the reviewers, moderator, and a secretary. The programmer here will explain his source code and it is reviewed. So, what are the things that we should keep in mind as a reviewer when a code review is happening? Is like so you can see these things, right? So you have to keep in mind these all things whenever you are doing a code review. So the first one is whether coding guidelines are followed or not. This is very important whether you are following C, Java, Python, whatever the coding language you are following. So you should follow the guidelines like naming convention, the file or basically how the class name should be written. Then say your file names, the number of lines in a module. So these things, everything that will come into coding guidelines. The next one is completeness in implementing the functionality. So in the review meeting when the programmer or the developer he is going through or he is explaining his code, the reviewers they should check whether the functionality for what functionality he has developed the code, whether it has been completely coded or not. Has he uh, has he missed something? So these things come into mind whenever the review is going on. Then whether there is any unreachable code, it means the code or the part of the code that is not executed. Like for example, maybe you have written a function definition but you have forgotten to call that particular function. So in this case the function definition would never be executed, right? So that becomes your unreachable code. So the next point to keep in mind is whether the code is maintainable. So whether enough online documentation is available or not. So code maintainability, it means whether whatever the code you have or the developer has written, whether it is easy to modify or it is easy to extend. So these things would be kept in mind. Next, this is very important whether the programmer has used any copy paste technology. So copy paste technology is nothing but so whenever a function or some functionality is given for coding, the developers usually what they do is like, so it is a common practice like they go to Google, they search for the module name or anything, right? So say suppose he has got the code from the Stack Overflow and he has pasted the same thing into the project file. So whether he has done any of these mistakes, so this has to be taken care of. Then comes the code portability. That means the code whatever the developer has written, whether it is compatible or whether it is if portability is a requirement, whether the code the whatever the developer has written can it be used in the different environments. This has to be checked. Then uh, whether the code is written for easy testability, this is important. So this means whenever the code review is going on, the reviewer should thoroughly check the code whether any debugging statements has been are been present in the code. Say what usually developers will do is like to test their code to unit test, right? To test that they'll put up some debug code like basic printf statements. Say for example, if the developer has coded for the login functionality, he might have written, say suppose whenever correct username and password has been given and on click of a button he might have written a printf statement like successful login, something like that. That printf statement whenever code review is going on, so the reviewers has to check whether the code is easy for testing, whether there are any junk code present or not. So this has to be tested. And the last one is like whether performance issues are taken care and whether the code has been optimized. So the performance issues such as response or throughput. These things have been taken care of or not. This has to be checked. Then the code has been optimized or not. So optimization is nothing but you might have thought of like removing the unwanted code is optimization. No. So it is like removing of the unreachable code. So these are the points that the reviewers have to keep in mind when doing a formal code review. Next, we will talk about coding guidelines. So in the formal code review meetings, so it must be checked whether the programmers they have followed the proper coding standards that have been defined by the organization. That means apart from your language guidelines, there would be some set of organization guidelines. So you have to check whether those guidelines, organization guidelines have been followed or not. Okay. So many programmers what they do is like they do not follow any discipline while writing the code, so this leads to the maintenance problem. So like say suppose there are no comments in the code whatever the programmer has written, or suppose he has not removed the debugging code, or say suppose he has not used some feature so that the code that cannot be extended. So these all things create problem during maintenance. So due to these problems, so nobody likes to change the code which is written by someone else. They prefer to write their own code. Why? Because of the problems wherein the code cannot be maintained. So this attitude it arises mainly because the code is written by one programmer, so that the another programmer when he tries to understand that code, he is not able to do it. Okay. So, apart from your language guidelines, the organization it also has to set up some guidelines so that the programmer or the developer they have to follow these guidelines. Okay. Next we will talk about programming style. So every programmer or the developer he has to follow guidelines, right, while doing coding. So what are the guidelines? What are the programming styles? We'll see one by one. So the first one is like the layout of the code should be in such a way that it is easy to understand or it is easy to read. That means you guys have a habit of writing code in a single line, right? From hash include stdio.h till the last closing brace. So you guys start writing in the same code. What you are doing here? You are making the code difficult to read. So what you have to do is like you have to have proper indentation in the code. So once the code has been finalized, then it has to be passed through a utility. So utility tool which will give you the necessary indentation. If you are not doing it manually, so what you can do, write in a single line. So I guess in your Sublime Text that tool and maybe some other tools are there, so in one go you can indent your code. So you have to follow the indentation. Next is naming of the files, functions and variables. It should not be cryptic. You have to give proper or valid names to the files, functions, or the variables that correspond to your module or the functionality, whatever you are writing. So you cannot simply use int a or float b. You should not use something like this. So if you are adding two numbers, you are writing a C program, then you should have a proper, you know, variable names. Then you have to save, so you have to save the file like add.c. So what you do, you'll just simply you'll type aaa.c, so which is a bad habit. Okay. Next, the function size should be limited to 40-50 lines. This comes into picture whenever you have the functions that are there in your module whatever you are developing. So it should not exceed 50 lines basically. Then the module size to be limited based on the coupling and cohesion. So what is coupling and cohesion, you know it already. So we have to keep in mind the coupling and cohesion, and you have to decide the module size. Then the deep nesting has to be avoided. Deep nesting means multiple if statements. So it is something like this. So if you have if some condition is there, and inside if again you have another if again condition. So inside this if again you have third if statement. So it is like nested. So instead of this you can use some better statements. So always try to avoid this deep nesting. Then you have to take care of the exceptions or the errors that has to be handled in the code. Again, whenever error handling comes into picture, you should be giving proper error message. Just it is not like this is a error. Say whenever you click on a button, it has to be proper error message has to be displayed to the user. Okay. Then exception has to be handled by using your try catch and finally block. Then you should have a single entry single exit control structures that should yeah, you should use that, and go tos must be avoided. Now what is single entry and single exit? So the single entry and single exit control structures are nothing but your if you have any loop or conditions, right? So a single entry single condition has to be there, so that you on that particular single condition you would enter the loop. And even exit also, there should be only one exit, like only one return from the statement. And you must not use the go tos. Why? Because if you use go tos, it will be like multiple exit from your function. Okay. Then we have user defined times to be used to increase readability, such as enum and typedef. So this is nothing but your typedef. It is used for renaming the variables. Okay. So it is used to provide you can provide meaningful names to the already existing variable in C program. Say for example, you can have typedef float numbers. Instead of writing float abc, now you can write is numbers abc, something like this. Okay. The next point in the programming style is each file must have a header containing the name of the programmer, date, and the revision history. So this becomes very important during your maintenance phase. Why? Because you should whenever you are given a code to write, on the that header, the file should contain the author name, who has coded that, when it was created, the original date and the last modified date, it has to be there, and the revision history, how many versions of that has been created. So this is very important. Why? Because during maintenance phase, so the developer who has actually written it, he may be present in the team or he may not be. So if he is not present in the team, you can, if you have any doubts, you can contact to that developer, and you can have a call with him, you can clarify your doubts. Okay. The next one, there should be no magic numbers. Yeah. So commenting, right? Comments you have to write. So for example, here you have a statement, right? I is equal to 256. So you have initialized the variable I with the value 256. Now you have to tell the user why you have initialized it, what is the purpose of it. That means how you have to tell the user is like by commenting why you have done that particular thing. Then next, the functionality of each module and the function must be explained. Then assumptions during the coding design has to be mentioned, and input output parameters for the each functions. So these all things come into your commenting. So whenever you are writing functions, you have to at the top of the function you have to comment what does that function do, not the entire description, just a single line of statement. What does that function do? Then what are the inputs to it? What are you expecting the output? Then your say suppose you have made any assumptions while coding, even that has to be written. Okay. So this is about your programming style. Next we would talk about C coding guidelines. So you guys are already familiar with the C coding, so you might be aware of these things. Okay. So we'll go by this one by one. So in the C coding, what you have to keep in mind is like for every project you have to maintain a separate folder, and that separate folder it should have all the source files. And also the folder name, it should it should be same as your project name. Suppose you are building library management system, then the folder name can be LMS. Okay. Then in this folder you should have a readme file. That readme file it should contain all the source files, list of the files that are present in your folder, and the purpose of that file. And you can have the file name such as lms underscore like login. So you can have something like this. Okay. Login dot c, something like this. Okay. The next thing in the C coding guidelines is like you have to take the backup of your project every day. Why every day? Is because say suppose today you have done entire coding, and you have not taken a backup. Then next day, say suppose your system is down, then what you will do? Say the system has been crashed, something happened to your system, or say the file which what you have saved it deleted by permanently deleted from your system. Something like this can happen. That's why you have to take the backup of your files every day. Again, the few things we have already discussed, that is your file name, it should reflect the functionality of the source code given. Then each file name or your source file, it should contain the header, it should have the copyright information, it should have the author name, revision history, date modified, these all things. And your variables, structure, union members, functions, macros, whatever you are using in the source code, it should have proper meaning, and it should reflect the functionality. So the next is like commenting style. So whenever you are commenting something in your C code, make sure that you write a single line of comment in front of that particular statement or line of code. So something like this. So int max temperature is equal to 50. So the comment for this, it should come in the single line. Okay. Then whenever you are using constants and the macros, you should define it in uppercase letters like this one. Okay, count, pi. So these constant or the macros have to be defined, or it should have the name in the uppercase. Then the proper indentation, you should follow a proper indentation. And the important thing is like whenever you are using a comma and semicolon, so completion of a line of code, so it should have a space in between. Okay. Then okay, whenever you are using the unary operators, you should not follow, or you should not give the space between the operator and the operand. So something like this. You have this unary operator plus plus n. Okay, n is a variable. Say, so you should write something like this. Okay, and not like this. So you cannot write like this. There is a space in between and like this. You cannot write like this one. You have to write unary operators. You have to represent like this one. So for binary operator, say suppose you have a plus b, you should give a space. A space, then plus space b, something like this. Okay. And whenever you change or you do some modification to your source file, you have to mention when the, I mean, you have to mention the modification date, why you have modified that content. So you have to write this one. So these are some of the C coding guidelines. That's it for today. We'll conclude our session. Thank you.